Hello. So welcome to our panel session on the future of Scotland's agritourism sector. During this session, we'll hear from our panellists, all participants in this year's Futures Scholarship programme, on their experiences entering and working in the agritourism sector and the challenges they have faced. I'm Anna Wylie. I come from a beef and arable farm in Burntisland in Fife. After studying law, gaining a master's in international law and sustainability, and training in tech law in Brussels, I came home at the start of the year and I'm hoping to diversify into agritourism. I was lucky enough to be selected to participate in the Agritourism Futures Scholarship programme and join a female-dominated cohort of 20 wonderful under-35 scholars. Everyone had an interest in pursuing agritourism ventures, with some coming from established businesses to others who were still exploring different business options. So, to give a brief overview of what the programme entailed, prior to moving on to the panel, a few weeks ago we spent a couple of days together with Laura and Caroline in Edinburgh for some development workshops. So on the first day, we were hosted by the Hamilton family at Cairns Farm Estate, a stunning wedding and events venue in the Pentlands. We discussed succession planning, how to engage meaningfully with politicians and civil servants. We had speaker training with Claire Taylor, which many of us found invaluable, especially for today, and we got the chance to network with destination leaders. In the evening, Craigie's Farms welcomed us for dinner, a tour of their agritourism ventures, including their Halloween walk, and we had an opportunity to ask questions to George Sinclair and his team. We even had a chance to try out their new kids' adventure park. So on the second day of the programme, it involved engaging with MSPs and civil servants, visiting both the Scottish Government and Parliament. We spoke with representatives of the Lib Dems, Conservatives and Labour. We also attended First Minister's questions. This was the day after Labour's budget was released, so it's safe to say many of us were eager to share our frustrations with those in power. I found the experience very valuable, although perhaps rather frustrating, but I am extremely grateful to Caroline and her team for arranging for us to have this unique opportunity. I hope MSPs and civil servants paid attention to the many valid points we raised and provide greater support to young people seeking to enter the agritourism market. Overall, I found the programme extremely valuable. It pushed me to speak out on issues I feel passionate about, and I felt very welcomed into the agritourism community, even more so after meeting so many of you at today and yesterday's conference. So, moving on to the panel, our panel today consists of 3 inspirational women I was fortunate enough to meet through this programme who will be sharing their experiences entering and working in the agritourism sector and the challenges they have faced. Particularly, they'll cover the issues surrounding planning, licensing, and the lack of capital grant support that previously assisted many agritourism businesses to start off. After we've heard from all 3 panellists, there'll be an opportunity to take questions. So, I'd like to welcome our first speaker to the stage, Rachel MacDonald from North Uist, who's hoping to develop her campsite business on her family's farm. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing your story. It looks lovely up where you are, so I hope I can come visit sometime. And I also hope that the MSPs that we spoke to a few weeks ago listened to your concerns and that some support will become available at some point. So our next speaker is Daisy Hewitt. She's a manager of the farm shop and kitchen at Black Isle Berries. Thanks, Daisy, for sharing your experiences in the agritourism sector. I think our group were all quite shocked to hear about the polytunnel, the strict planning requirements for the polytunnels, and also the MSPs we spoke to were also shocked and didn't know about it, so I do hope that some more accommodating policies may come out of it. So I'd like to introduce our final speaker of the day. This is Megan Colvin, who's also had to deal with many impractical regulations on her journey to begin her agritourism business, and that is Lowood Lodges. Thanks, Megan, for sharing that.
Your lodges are beautiful, and you must be very proud of them. And I'm sorry to hear about the struggles that you had to face to kind of start it off. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to our speakers today, and perhaps will make a trip to their businesses in the future. I'd like to thank Scottish Rural Network for funding this programme, and to the Scottish Agritourism team. Many thanks to Caroline and Laura for organising this programme and giving me the opportunity to be on stage today. I think it was a first for all of us on the stage, so I hope everyone enjoyed it. I was glad to hear that the Minister of Agriculture, Jim Fairley, is aware of the struggles young people face and has appreciation for our strong business acumen. I'd like to mention to the Minister, if he's still here, I'm not sure, but that I was 17 when the Brexit vote occurred, so I was unable to vote, and now almost 10 years on, I'm 26, and the Scottish Government has still provided no plan or substantial support to young farmers. I may be over 30 by the time any sort of plan comes to fruition, and perhaps some funding may not be available to me once it's released. I'm not alone in this, and really it's a generation of young farmers in Scotland that will have lost out on support from the Scottish Government to utilise their business skills that the Minister previously mentioned. I know that the new CAP scheme supports young farmers, and there's some support in England, so is it not time for Scotland to start supporting its young farmers? So, on the back of that, I hope politicians and civil servants do reflect on what we shared with them a few weeks ago. Especially with the Global Agritourism Conference happening in 2026, I think politicians should provide support to the agritourism sector to allow us to showcase Scotland's natural beauty and the great food and drink we have to offer from field to fork and secure the future of Scottish agritourism. Thanks for listening today.